How many of you have a habit that you're like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to change this habit? I was one of those people. And the habit that I had tried and failed before to break was my gray zone drinking habit. And for those of you who are wondering, Kathryn, what are you talking about, gray zone drinking habit? It's the term I came up with to describe myself, because what I was finding is I had so much stress and responsibility on me at a certain point in my life because of the work that I was doing, that it proved to be so unmanageable that the thing that I thought was a really great way of managing it, mostly to manage my mind and turn the volume down and the noise down in my mind, was to have somewhere between 1 and 3 drinks in the evening when I got done with work. 3 only if I didn't have to be in surgery the next day, because I used to run sophisticated imaging and computer systems for brain surgeons at places like Mayo Clinic in Stanford. You cannot be hungover and be working in brain surgery. But I came to depend on that 1 to 2 glasses of wine every night to turn my mind down. It was never of any interest to me to get drunk, but just to turn my mind down. And even during COVID, when everybody was starting to do day drinking and doing videos about it, some of the videos were funny at the time, but now we know there was nothing funny about that. I managed to stop for 30 days because I understood if I go down that road, I don't think I'm ever coming back. I was in that gray zone, but I knew it would be a slippery slope to developing a much more serious problem with alcohol that would lead me to needing rehab or AA or something like that. So I had enough presence of mind, but I didn't believe I could get myself out of that rut permanently, because when the 30 days was up and my schedule resumed, so did my habit of turning to that wine to turn the mind down. So I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to deal with this. This is so frustrating to me. And then, you know what happened? I got sent a 17-hour day working in the operating room. Every single thing that could go wrong that day did. It was also day 1 in my new alcohol-free life. So I had just gone through the worst day of my entire career without anything to drink. I didn't realize it that day. It took me much later to understand that you don't need the alcohol to turn your mind off or down. In fact, it's getting in the way. But the first step I took, thanks to that day of being forced to not have anything to drink, the first step I took was to understand, why am I doing this to begin with? What is the benefit I'm getting from this? Or what do I think the benefit is from this? And I was able to identify, this is a treat, this is a reward, because right now I feel like my life is careening out of control. I feel like, number 1, I have no life, and number 2, I'm just surviving. And that led me to the second question. Why are you just surviving? This work used to absolutely lift you up and fill you with joy and with purpose. Why are you in this place of just surviving now? And that was a much harder question to answer, because I had to be very real with myself. I had to be very, very real. And I just kept moving from there, one baby step at a time. But that first step, this is what I really want to focus on today, was understanding, why do I do what I do? What is the purpose behind it? Because sometimes we just never even ask ourselves those questions. We just repeat the pattern, repeat the pattern, repeat the pattern. Now, I want to be clear that if I had, that 1 to 3 glasses of wine at night, I always, didn't matter if it was half, 1, 2, I always woke up in the middle of the night, somewhere between 2 and 3. Never failed. And then I would ask myself that question, but from a place of judgment and meanness. In fact, Mean Girl, who I call the voice in my head who showed up at 3 o'clock in the morning, would scream at me, why are you doing this to yourself? What the is wrong with you? That's the way I asked myself the question. And so it induced shame and blame and judgment in me. And so I didn't look at it. I made the decision to just, when the alarm went back off, more energy drinks, more B vitamins, more coffee, just keep moving forward. And I never sat in a place of compassion and said, let's get to the bottom of this. Why are you doing this? What is the benefit that you're getting from this? How can we find you something else that will fill you up and get you what you really need, which is some relief? And just taking that time to sit with that question, that's the one thing that really moved me from going from a habit that I felt like I'm never, ever going to break this stupid habit to, oh my gosh, it's been 4.5 years since that worst day of my entire career. I've never looked back. I've never had anything to drink. And do you know why? Not because I have some amazing willpower, but I've got to the root of why I was doing what I was doing. And I got, with my combination of my neuroscience knowledge, mindset work, and my faith practice, I got to the root of this is something I don't even want in my life. Now that I understand everything that's going on, when I'm engaged in this behavior, consuming this particular, let's just be blunt here, neurotoxin, now that I understand everything about it, it's of zero interest to me to ever consume that again. I never have to struggle with willpower or cravings. It's all gone now. It's all gone. And 4.5 years ago, if you would have told me that, I would have said, you are a crazy person. That is not possible. But that first step of being compassionate and asking from a place of true curiosity about why do you do what you do? What do you hope to benefit from it? Got me to this place where I am, where I walked away from alcohol. I never miss it. I created my own business. I started a ministry. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the gym. That's another habit. Giving up the gray zone drinking habit helped me create the steps that I needed to become a regular gym goer who's completely transformed my body mass index. I've completely recomposed the shape of my body now. So I want you to just sit with yourself today and be very, very compassionate with yourself and say, what am I doing that is something I think I can never give up? And be very curious about what's the reason you're doing it? What's the reason? Ask that first question. If you need a little help getting clear on why am I doing what I'm doing and how can I break this thing that I think I'm never going to break, go ahead, click the link in the description box. Let's schedule a clarity call and I will walk you through a couple steps to help you become really, really clear what it is that's important to you right now and how to get there going forward. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is I believe in you.